All right, now we are live, I think. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, now it's working. Sorry, guys. We did have a little bit of a technical problem, but we are live now. Okay, that's good. Sorry about that. I think that I joined the wrong live stream for some reason. So someone watched a couple of minutes of me trying to work out what was going wrong. Sorry about that. Well, at least we can skip the part when I say where I say let's wait for everybody to join in. And thanks for thanks for coming. And sorry about that. My name is Alessandro Mastroianni, and I'm gonna do this live stream with you today. Sorry, I need to move this one just a little bit. Okay, yeah, looks like everything is working okay. Okay, perfect. And my name is Alessandro Mastroianni. I'm a composer and sound designer. Today I'm gonna do this live stream with you. Krotos Audio very kindly invited me to take over and do this for you. I can only hope to be worthy of the honor. Basically, as I said, I'm a composer and sound designer. I'm based in Edinburgh, although I'm Italian. If you couldn't catch that from the accent, I saw a few Italians in the chat. Hello, everybody. And I mostly work in TV, and I did some films. I'll do a lot of ad campaigns, mostly in Canada for some reason, and. I write a lot of library music, so that is sort of the side of the industry where I'm mostly employed. And today we're gonna have a look at concept as simple concept. These two synths from Krotos Audio. I'm sure you're all familiar with Krotos if you are watching this live stream. If you're not, Krotos is this company based in Edinburgh, which does some incredible software, mostly aimed to post production, to the post production, sound design, and the gaming industry. They really make an effort to change the way that people design and perform sound to make it faster, more efficient, and more importantly, more inspiring, which is something that is incredibly important in our line of work. And that was something that up until now was, as I said, reserved to the post production and gaming industry. But very recently, they decided to apply all this know-how and all their knowledge to the music production field, and they came up with this really cool synth that we are exploring today. Concept was also updated very recently. Actually, you can see I got it here on my screen. The resolution is right. In this dark mode, that was a welcome addition. It used to be available only in this bright white, and that in dark looks a bit cooler, which is important. You want your soft synth to look cool, but also a little less fatiguing for the eye. And here I got a simple concept, which is, well, a simplified version of concepts, but much more. And we're definitely gonna have a look today. Today I'm gonna make a track from scratch with concept and a few other things. You'll see I got a template opened up. I got just concept, simple concept, a little piano, because you got to have a piano to write. I can't write without a piano. A little drum kit. I have a couple of guitars there, which I might use, not just yet. And I haven't prepared much. The only, because I wanted to keep it natural. The one thing that I prepare is 6 presets that I sort of did to explore the synth a little bit, but also to have a little bit of a palette of sound to use tonight. So I'm going to do a mix of using these presets that I created and, you know, as well doing some from scratch so that I can show you how these things work. And in the chat there is Linda and Andrew from Krotos that are there to reply to all the questions, to answer all the questions that you may have. And if you signed up for the live stream, tomorrow Linda is gonna send you an email with all the presets that I'm gonna use tonight, and so you're gonna have that. And as I'm sure you know, today there is also a giveaway. We're running a little raffle where one lucky winner will win a copy of Concept and a copy of Simple Concept. If you signed up already, there's pretty much nothing you have to do. You're all set. All you need to do is, you know, sit back and enjoy me trying to make this track. If not, you're still in time. You can go on the, I believe Linda put the link in the description, and you can follow that link and sign up, and you'll be included in the raffle. Do stay until the end of the stream because a winner will be announced during the live stream, and you'll have to get in touch with us in the comment to let us know how you want to claim your prize. What else? Concept is available with a 30% discount on the Crotos Audio website. Again, I'm sure that Linda put the link in the description. That is until the 31st of August. If you don't own it yet, that's a great time to grab it at a reduced price. I think it's about £82. Do the math, how much is in US dollars, euros, or whatever is your currency, or just go on the website and find out. Last thing that I'm gonna say before actually. Hey James, what kind of vibe are you going for with this track, Alessandro? I'll just catch your question. I see a lot of questions. One thing that I decided that I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna do something ambient and very relaxed, because I come from a long day of work where I actually just had to start writing a very bombastic score for an ad that I'm working on. It's an ad for a car manufacturer, and car adverts are always super bombastic and super over the top and really lush, because you know they like luxury and that kind of stuff. So today we're definitely gonna go for something a little more chilled. I got my template says 100 BPM, so I think that I'm gonna go for with that. I'm gonna go with that, and we are gonna do a Q&A as well. I think that if you have any question related to Concept or Krotos Audio in general, by the way, I'm pretty sure that all the Krotos software is available as a demo, as a free demo on their website. So do head there and have a look, download them for free, and try them out and see if they can suit your workflow. And I don't know. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. For the QA, I don't know if you want me to, you know, get all your questions by the end of the stream, or I think a better way to do it is to play by ear a little bit. I'm gonna play, and then if I'm gonna take a break here and there, I can have a look at some questions. If Linda is so kind to keep an eye on the chat and then pass me all the questions that I have to answer, I can do that. All right. How about we start, since we're already late? Are you guys okay with that? is Logic X your main DAW for composing? It is. I use still James. Okay, I always catch your questions, James. It is. I use many DAWs. I use a lot of Pro Tools for post production. I'm also a sound engineer. I use a bunch of other things. I use Cubase from time to time. I use Ableton Live for electronic music. But I would say that when I need to be fast and I need to compose, Logic is definitely my weapon of choice. Okay, I'm gonna stop looking at the questions, otherwise I'm not getting this done. But I will go back to the chat and answer all those a little bit. Okay. So, first of all, where shall we start from? Okay, so here are some of the presets that I created. I'm particularly proud of the name of my first preset, which is called Italy's Autumn is Edinburgh's Summer, because I moved to Edinburgh fairly recently. In fact, that's where I met the guys from Krotos Audio at the early 2020 in the Edinburgh Festival of Sound, which sounds like ages ago, back in the days where live events were still a thing. And I'm finding Edinburgh a little on the cold side. But anyway, I did include a few presets. One of them has even a custom impulse response, because one of my favorite things about Concept is that you can import your own impulse responses together with a bunch of other things. So this sounds like that. But I think it would be really cool if we can start something completely from scratch. And I was trying to work out how to organize this. And at first I wanted to do every single patch from scratch, but then I realized that we were not gonna get anything done, because I do have less than 1 hour to create an entire track. So I'm gonna do maybe the first one from scratch, and hopefully I'll be able to show you a few cool things that come with Concept. But then for the other ones, I'm gonna use a few presets that I created. But you can ask me anything you want about that, and we can go in the patch and I'll show you what I did. Okay, so let's initialize the first one. Okay, so it's a little low, isn't it? All right. So this is the initialized patch. I want to start with something a little bit paddy, a little slow. So the very first thing that I do with any synthesizer when I'm creating a patch from scratch is to work on the ADSR, that is the main shape of your sound, and I always start from that. This is what is gonna tell you if this is gonna be a pad, a lead sound, a bass. So that's very important. I want something with a very long attack, very long release as well. C minor is gonna be. I have this personal rule that if I need to write something fast, C minor it is, because it's a very easy. It's a key that comes very easy to write on the piano. So C minor. I got this personal rule, so you bear with me. So let me. Krotos has 2 oscillators that you can blend between 2 different waveforms. So I'm gonna use them both and pan them a little bit left and right, so we get a bit of a stereo sound. All right. I think I want to go for something fairly pure. Okay, so let's just a triangle and a sine for the first one. So something that has barely any harmonic, and maybe a sawtooth here. 2 different sawtooths. This allows you to blend on the 2 different waveform per oscillator. So first thing that I would do is to automate the blend knob over here using an LFO. Probably one of the best things about Krotos is that you can do modulation by simple drag and drop. So I can just grab the blend control here and the blend control over here, and then decide how wide I want the modulation to be, and this is already modulated. Now I do want something synced, but I want something very slow. I'm thinking even of going, you know, maybe 8 bars, so you have this very, very long evolving sound. The important thing to do when you create a patch using an LFO that is so long is to keep the retrigger mode to free. Otherwise, every time you trigger a new MIDI note, the LFO cycle will restart. If you have 8 bars, you're never gonna get to the end of the cycle. So it's pretty important to do that. And actually, you can maybe do them, you know, on different directions. They modulate in different directions, something like that. Some slight detuning would be cool as well. Liking this spacey vibe. All right, let's get to some filtering. You get 2 different filters over here. It's sounding very good. I want to keep the resonance fairly low. Okay. And since probably we're gonna use the mod wheel, and you know we're gonna do a lot of different things with the cutoff and stuff like that, maybe for this one we can simply automate the cutoff using a simple envelope. So the envelope is, rather than an LFO, is something that is fixed in time and you know is a one-off kind of thing, for lack of a better term. You can do something that maybe, you know, opens it fairly quickly. That's a very cheeky harmony that I'm using. The easy to sound set kind of thing. That's the film composer in me, I guess. I want the attack to be a little longer. Still a little less resonance. Okay, and by the way, it's a good time to talk about the tweak it control. This is something really cool. Basically, it's a randomizer, and what you can do is basically you can drop in a bunch of stuff. Okay, like literally whatever, like a detune. Although I don't want a lot of detuning, so I might keep it fairly small. And and then you can just click on the tweak it button, and it randomizes the events, changing the sound on the fly. So this is a very quick way to come out with new sounds. So now the detuning is obviously too much, so I won't put it on the detuning, but you know, it's cool on the cutoff. Changing it on the fly. All right, let's put some effects on. There's a fairly comprehensive effects section. Some flanger would be cool. Yeah, this is a trick that I overuse in sound design. I do it all the time. So I like flangers, but they can get very strong. You know what I mean? So you can, rather than automating the depth and the rate, because you know it sounds 80s right away, although it can be a good thing, you automate the mix with an LFO, so that the source of evolves over time. And again, you want to put something fairly long. Again, you can put a synth, say every couple of bars. Let's see how it sounds. Do we like this one? I think it's kind of cool. Let's put some reverb on. So this is a very good convolution reverb. One thing that I absolutely adore about this is the possibility of importing your own impulse responses. The reason why I love this is that many synths come with built-in reverbs, and let's be honest, they never sound that great. They're typically algorithm reverb that they need to put in just to make it sound lush. But with a convolution reverb, you don't need to put impulse responses that sound just like a reverb. You can literally put on anything, and that is something that I did with one of my presets. Here it comes with a lot of stuff, but here, as you can tell, I imported a couple of bowed cymbals. Okay, and if you put this on, basically you have the bow. This is literally a drum cymbal which is bowed with a string bow. I recorded a lot of this for another project, so I got loads of these sounds, and you can incorporate in the sound. Can you hear it in the tail? That's pretty cool. Right. I think one last thing that that I think would be cool is, since this is the intro and this is a very, wide sound that takes a big part of the frequency spectrum, and this is a massive problem when you write a track with a lot of synths. They get very tough to mix because you're just occupying a big chunk of the frequency spectrum. So one thing that you can do is to put an equalizer, put a bunch of nodes in it, and modulate them with the mod wheel. What shall we do? Double click on it, you get a notch. A bit of low pass filtering as well. So this is basically like having a second filter, although there is another one, yet another filter over here. So you can basically have two filters, because one over here and another one in the effects section, and then you can use an equalizer as a filter. And maybe I want to control this with the mod wheel, so that I really, so that I can, really play it in. See, this is my mod wheel moving. By the way, I'm really hoping that I have a few problems with my MIDI controller, and it's starting to send random MIDI messages, so that's scary. Hopefully it won't happen today. Okay, so now I'm just, dropping in a bunch of nodes, and then basically controlling their cutoff frequency, their Q frequency, basically with the mod wheel. Let's see what it does. This cymbal is very loud. All right, do we like this one? I think it's okay. Let's play something in, otherwise I won't get to writing. Okay, yeah, let's keep it to 100. Let's get 4 bars. Let me sketch out something. Alright, I'm gonna do a very vibey intro, okay, very ambient. Okay, I'm not gonna quantize it much because I want it to be very free. The only thing that I do all the time is to make sure that the first one is always on the beat, otherwise the playback can suffer. Right, now that we created this patch from scratch, it's a good time to have a look at Simple Concept. Because your simple concept, basically it works with a bunch of presets. You can just go on whatever preset you like, and every preset comes with 3 different macros and a simple ADSR section to allow you, to shape whatever you're working on, and a tweak it button that allows you to randomize and go through a bunch of different sounds. So this is a very quick way to get a sound that you like. I'm thinking something Plucky in here that we can start using. So let's start plucks. I don't know. Let's just get the first one. That's my kind of thing. I like that. Oh, love this. Okay, let's play something in. Sorry, just playing a few notes in. Okay, again, let's record something. This is just a very, moody intro. Okay, there are a couple of things that I want to do with this sound. First of all, I'm quantizing it because I think it'd be cool to send a little delay to it. I'm gonna send it to this one, which is replica delay, which is one of my favorite delays. Let's see. I want it on ping pong so that we have a bit of a stereo effect. Tiny bit of saturation. Okay. And then another thing that I definitely want to do here is that I want to automate a few of these things. Okay, there are a bunch of ways I can do that. These are recognized by Logic as smart controls. So you can just go on I here and learn whatever MIDI controller you want and perform them in. But this time I'm just gonna do something much easier. So you open the automation, you go on region automation, and I'm gonna have the smart control macro 1. and then I'm gonna go on macro 2. Sorry, it was macro 1 and macro 3, and I'm just gonna draw something in with the pencil tool. So we want the filter to open a little bit. Space as well, we can automate. Do you like this as intro? I think it's okay. So let me work out a chord progression. Like this one, let me play it in. Okay, I'm gonna do something to avoid all, since this sounds as a very long release, which I might tweak by the way. I'm gonna open this a couple of bars ahead. Sorry, a couple of binds after. How's that? Not sure. Let me see how much I messed it up. Okay, you get a simple C minor, G minor, A flat major progression, with a bit of a jazzy extension on the last chord. Let's see it in context. Am I allowed a little bit of piano here? I'm just, you know, feeling it. I think it's screaming for it. Then that's what I played. Let's try. I'll go to the... When I went to the piano, I thought that playing it on the lower octave will be cooler, but I think it's lost a little bit. It's better. Okay, I'll go again to the at the piano to work out the rest of the chord progression. Okay, it's coming up a little bit jazzy. I don't know. Well, let's do it. So I'm gonna mute the synth for a second so that I have the piano as a as a reference for the entire chord progression, and I'm gonna go on that, and I'll go back to the synth. I think that D flat over there is nice, but I think that we're gonna keep it on a C or on a E. That's a cool chord. Let's see. All right, not bad, not bad. Let's see. Well, you know what? I'm gonna be super lazy and do this. So here we want it on the lower octave. We want to get rid of, on the sustain pedal that I just played in. And then, let me see if this works. Keep. Okay, kind of worked. Sorry. Hanging Midi notes everywhere. Okay. Boom. We're gonna keep that as the top line. Let's see how it's sounding. Have a look at the chat in the meantime. Love how the chord progression is coming along. Yeah? Thanks. Very much improvised. Charles, what do you mean needs a G minor? It's full of G minor. It's G minor with a B flat on the bass. There you go. That was a G minor. Oh, that's the wrong octave. But I kind of like it. Keeping it in this lower octave. I don't know, it might sound a bit muddy when I add the bass. Let's put it up there. All right. Okay, since I want to do some more sound design with Concept, one of the very cool thing that come with Concept is the possibility of using a audio. This is the full patch, I think. Yeah, it is. Is to be able to use the audio input as a modulation source. So you can feed it any sort of audio signal coming from whatever, either something that you play live as an input on your audio interface, on another audio track from your DAW, or from an instrument track from your DAW. So it'd be cool to play some drums maybe, and have one of the drums, maybe the kick or the snare, opening up a filter or whatever. Let's see what we can come up with, but let me come up with a very quick bit. I had the classic headphones cable getting stuck in the chair. All right, so I got this very basic drum kit. I didn't want to do anything too complicated. This is actually one of my favorite one. All right, very basic. Let me put the beat. I'm gonna put it on loop for a second to come up with a bit, although I'm gonna again keep it super simple. There's the piano. All right, super simple. I just I just played it in and I got a capture recording as I wasn't recording, so that Logic, I got it on my iPad over here, set up on Logic Remote, so that Logic remembers that I actually did play in something over there, although this bit was a little off, and it saves it for me. That's not a super original beat, but I can do something like that maybe. All right, let's make it work. I don't have much time. Okay, so you'll see that I got, this is, by the way, this is my kit. This is just some samples loaded in battery from Native Instrument. These are some samples that come from a company called That Sound, which does some very good acoustic kits. Got them all here. And I have them routed to a bunch of different outputs, but I always only keep the kick and the snare on separate outputs, and then I do the others as I like, because I like to do a lot of weird routing with drums. And I always keep the kick drum in mono. There is this tendency to do everything in stereo, and I hate it. It's very hard to mix. So I typically keep the kick in mono. The snare is a little low. Let's have a look at the velocities. Okay, I can keep this one over there. All right, just a simple bit. Okay, let's see how it works. Okay, one cool thing that we can do is to send this kick to a delay to have a little bit of a rhythm going. So I could send it to this delay that I got over here, the replica one, but I'm actually want to duplicate this, and I'll tell you why in a sec. So I'm gonna create another one as input. I need to put a different one. I got to 33, so I'm gonna put bus 34 over here. No, actually I got a 34, yeah, bus 35. As input. And the reason I want to change this is that we might use the same one, but this is a ping pong one, which on the kick drum may sound very weird. Bass, the human ear isn't very good at locating frequencies, at locating bass frequencies in the space. So whenever you want to use something, like the bass, or a delay on the bass or on the kick drum, I tend to keep them on standard, not ping pong. So it basically stands still right in the center, spot on. So where was I? That's the kick. I'm gonna send it to bus 35. Let's call it delay 3. Now this was delay 2, so this is gonna be delay 3, right? Let's keep this delay 2 because I already had a second one on my template, but I forgot. So let's do that. I'm gonna send it a little bit. A little bit of a rhythm gives a bit of movement to the track. Can put a little bit more saturation. Okay, kind of like it. Maybe just another element to the bit for the second part over here. I like this very reverberant snap. Oh, I got an idea on what we can do with this one. Okay. Can you hear that cymbal? Still bowing away. So I'm not sure what happened here. I made a mess. That's what happened. Let's do it again. Or I'll probably just pencil it in. So it was an E flat somewhere here. Okay. One cool thing that I like to do with battery is that you can change the articulation. So was it this one? You can go, was it on engine, volume envelope? Oh no, you can do it. You can do it on this kind of samples. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, so you can change the articulation and put like, oh yeah, 3-stroke. And maybe you can slow down the sample. And then you can time it with the beat. That's always a pretty cool effect on snaps and that kind of stuff. So now you need to solo it. Still a bit slow. Yes, something like that. Okay, do we like that? I think it's kind of cool. So you'll see that even if I'm sending everything on, I'm writing everything on the first layer, and they actually get out. The output goes to all the different channels. In fact, I want to create a different one on this one as well. So output, direct out, and I'm gonna do a. How many did I use already? So I got 17 because it was a mono, and then 3/4. So we can send this is definitely stereo. So we can set this to 5/6. Then on Logic I can add an additional output and call it snap, and it's automatically on 5 and 6. So this one now should come on this channel. It's not happening. Did I send it to 5 and 6? Oh, I know why. This is because of OBS, the software that we're using for streaming. I need to send it to bus 1, which sends it to all this 41 over here. This sends to 41 is a monitoring output that I got for the streaming. Yes, it's happening there. Let's see how it sounds in context. Piano is a little low. Okay, let's get something else going on concept. As I said, I'm not gonna have time to go through all the different patches, so I'm gonna use something that I created already. I think that simple thing, this one, if you hear this one, is basically all filtered. Right. However, I got this audio input set up to change the filter cutoff, and if I set the side chain so that we trigger the kick, I should be able to open this filter with a kick. Now, I'm sure there is going to be a problem over here. Yes, the problem is that when this is a logic quirkiness. So if you use multi output instruments like this drum kit over here, as a sidechain input, you only have the first one. So what you're gonna so basically what you're gonna do is you can't. There is a way around that. So you go on whatever you need and you send it to a phantom aux channel, so you can send it to whatever. I typically use the buses in the 100th, so let's send it to bus 131. Logic creates an aux track for you, call it kick, but kick bis or whatever. That's a typical Italian way to call things in bureaucracy. And it's sending it as mono. because the kick drum is mono, and I'm sending it to unity. So this is receiving the full signal from the kick drum, and I'm gonna get rid of the output, so I got nothing at all. So you see, it's receiving the kick drum, but it's not playing back. And now this is a little sound design trick that I use a lot on Concept. You can go on the sidechain, and here on bus you can have it feed the audio from the kick in bus 131. I'll look at this audio input thing here. You see, it's getting it. And now if I play this, it's gonna open the filter at the kick drum. I'm gonna solo it and play something while it's running. Oh well, of course I can't solo everything. Can have something pulsing, you know? It's following the beat of the track. Something like that. And then you can add a bit of pre-gain so it opens the filter more. So in this kind of situations, you basically want to have very long notes that cover all the part. So let's do it from this. You can there was a function in was it the backspace? Oh, sorry, no, that was the wrong tool. So you can, yeah, if I select them all and I go on. Yeah, you can basically force legato. Let's see what this does. You want to keep the chords. Yes, that gets me as close as it gets, because then I can do this and just sort a couple of MIDI notes. Yeah. And I think I'm gonna get rid of all the bass line, otherwise it's gonna get very muddy. How about that? It's kind of cool. It's getting somewhere. It's getting somewhere. Not sure yet. Let's see. Put a lot of delay on this thing. I overuse delays for sure. Wrong chord at the end. It was this one, right? I'm just laughing at the way Logic calls this chord. Sorry, composer's humor. Let's do that. Okay. So it was... yes. That's rich. Let's see. Oh, wrong note. All right. What shall we do now? Definitely, you know, add something to the beat, but I was thinking maybe a little sad piano moment here, solo piano. Let's see. Listen back to it for a second. I just get to do it. Sorry, this is the film composer in me. All right, just bear with me as I write a little bit of a sad piano. How bad was that timing? Let's see. I want to fix a couple of velocities here. And a bit more reverb. Oh, I just, as I was doing this, I got a great idea for the drums. So now let's copy the first section. Sorry, that's a bit, I do recognize that it's a bit cheap of me to do all this looping, but it's already 7:10. I don't want to waste all your time. Now we're gonna add a couple of things to the drum kit. So first of all, we're gonna copy everything in here. Okay, first of all, we want some hats, right? Actually, a couple of things. We are going to change the kick drum, and we're gonna use another one that is in the same kit. Yes, much dirtier. So we're gonna need to lower the volumes of those. That's a little dirtier. That's actually not. Sorry, Logic. I don't want the L button. I think I kind of know how you work sometimes. So we were using this, and then we got this, okay? So I want to send this on the same output of the mix. This one was 17. Oh, it's already set, so that's perfect. That works fine. Snare, it's also sending over there. And then we need some hats. I'm gonna use this one. Some very basic 16 rhythm. Let's see. Let's write it over here. I need to quantize it in 16. Unfortunately, I got I get a bit of delay, so to keep the timing is kind of tough, and I'm not a great player anyway, so that's double tough for me. All right, not too terrible. Let's do this. Can glue tool. Then I'm gonna do this. Oops, too much. Yeah, I gotta do this. Okay, so we're using using this one and this. So I'm gonna send these two to a different output again. I'm gonna use 11 and 12 and 13, 14 for this one. So I'm gonna go here on Logic, send a couple of extra output. I'm gonna do at closed. Sorry, that's just a bit of housekeeping. And at open. I didn't take the previous name, didn't it? Right. So this was. I keep forgetting. What did I put it at? It was 13, 14 was the open. Right. See? Definitely wrong. Again, I need to change the output because of this streaming thing. To bus 1. All right. So we can process this separately. I want to, well, first of all, I want to send this one to the same delay. This was too many delays, so this was 2. I got 2 delays. I'm doing a mess. All right, I get in there. So you want this on delay 2, which has a nice ping pong thing. Yes. And one thing that I always do on hi-hats is to add a bit of stereo spreading, these electronic ones. I use Sound Toys Micro Shift, which is here. On the hi-hats, works really well on tight. Put it on tight. Well, it needs a bit of mixing. I'm not gonna go on mixing because otherwise I'm never gonna do it. And now we're gonna use a bass, or maybe something else from Simple Concept. Let's explore something. Maybe some more keys. Let's see what we got, or a different pad that I can layer in. Icelandic. I mean, what can go wrong with Icelandic? In fact, it's pretty cool. And so again, you can use the tweak button and just, move it a little bit around. Really like this one, but I need the resonance to be lower. Otherwise, I'm not gonna get it right, and we're never gonna finish this. Nice. All right. I definitely. Okay. So. Bit of housekeeping to keep track of everything. I'm gonna select everything and use this login function to name regions as track name by track name, so that I know what everything is. And then here, these 3 controls are just too cool to automate. So I want to do a bit of performing. I'm gonna MIDI learn a few of this and play them in. So the way you do that in Logic is that you press on B. I got here macro 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3, and I think I want to automate them all. Let me check the sound. Flanger is cool. Actually, I'm gonna keep the filter fairly open anyway. Let's automate the flanger at a bit of resonance, and I'm gonna do 2 pass. So I wanna automate macro 1. You go on I, external assignment, learn we're gonna do it on the mod wheel. And then macro 3, I'm gonna learn it and I'm gonna put it on, I think this is 2, right? As in CC2, okay, let's do that. I'm gonna do 2 passes of this. First one for the flanger. Right, same thing with the resonant, second pass. So here, by the way, let's just double check that they recorded it. Yeah. Oh. Did that, I think that. Okay. My Midi controller is giving me a lot of troubles. Unfortunately, I need a new one. All right. I need to learn this one as well. Okay, keep this one. My MIDI controller is not working, unfortunately. So we're gonna do it, drawing them in. Okay, sorry about that. So smart control, we got macro 1. Basically, what I wanted to do is simply this. Let's do that. Now it's working, all right. Want to control the resonance in some bits. All right, you see, it's just a very easy way to add movement. Right, how are we doing with time? Can I keep going a little bit longer? Are you guys tired? I'm just gonna add a little bass, and then I'm gonna maybe take some question. I do have a bass that I made. Let's get from my set. I got this one. This is a very nasty one. All right. All right, let me record this. Forgot the chord progression, yeah. a couple of mistakes. It's late. All right. Let's check this out. All right. One cool thing that can be done with this is that we can automate the drive. So I got it put on the mod wheel, but how about we use one thing that we didn't explore at all, which is XY capture, another really cool thing about concept. You have the drive over here, and what you can do with the capture is that you can record whatever you want, like that, okay? And then now it's moving and it's automating it. You see in real time. Now this is obviously super fast. What I would do is to sync it to, say, a couple of bars, and now it's moving the drive, it's automating the drive in the saturator. Very slowly, maybe. There we go. You see that movement? I think we're gonna take a little break. There is one thing that I would really love to do with the snare, but let's see if I got time. I don't know. I don't want to be late. Guys, it's the guys from Krotos. Want to pass me some questions? Okay, what was your first project? It depends on what you mean with paid project. If you mean incredibly low paid project, it was a long time ago. Let me think. I think the very first thing that I did that got me some money was a couple of theater productions. I used to work as a composer in the you know, with some theater company that used to, you know, hire me to score full plays. And when I'm talking getting paid, it would probably mean like getting, you know, $50 for the entire play, something like that. If you're talking about the first professional project, that wasn't too long ago. I did Berkeley. I did a master in scoring for film, TV, and video games at Berkeley, and that finished in 2014. And the first serious project that I got was about in 2015, 2016. So 4 or 5 years ago. Okay, question from Yep. Question from Yep. When you write in C minor, do you shift the key of a completed project to fit a particular mood you need to express for your client? I don't know if that has anything to do with writing in C minor, but it has definitely everything to do with you know, scoring for films and that kind of projects. You do that all the time. You just need to really capture whatever the scene is telling you. If you're writing to picture, sometimes I write for library music, and that is basically to brief. So you are writing a track for a publisher that asks you that is asking you to cover a very specific mood, and so you know, using harmony, knowing harmony is an incredibly effective tool to score to picture, for sure, because it can evoke all sort of things, you know. This is the wrong patch to try it on. See, this is, let's just get a piano, right? You see, I'm, for example, this track, I'm starting it with this, which is not even a minor chord, is the notes C, G, D. So it's a sus2 chord, and it's a very Thomas Newman way to write. That Thomas Newman is by far my main influence in film scoring. And that doesn't tell you, until I go on the third note, it doesn't tell you which mood we're in. It's a very suspended kind of chord. And that is incredibly useful for composition, because you can go literally anywhere from there. Whereas if you're scoring something very dramatic, minor helps you. I wouldn't score a kids show in minor unless it was maybe something with some funk on, and I hope that helps. Right, from J Beats, how do you come up with your creative ideas? Do you have any tips for how you can come up with ideas? Yeah, I got a lot of tips. Because I used to suffer incredibly from writer block, and I couldn't get anything done. My very first tip for creativity is to get a day job, and that's gonna sound weird, but until I didn't have a day job, and I've always pretty much worked, but until I got a job that required me to be in the office at 9 a.m. every single day, I couldn't get my shit together. sorry for the bad words, but once you do that, you're every day that you're at work, you're thinking about making music, you're thinking about your creative project, and so the time that you dedicate to actually write music, that is an incredible creative energy that gets unleashed in that circumstance. Other tips that I got, it really depends on the kind of thing that I'm writing. I'm mainly a guitar player, which is the reason why I'm such a terrible piano player. I'm not a great guitar player either. I just write music, really. But one thing that I find very cool is to write something on guitar and then move that to piano. That is something that I learned from John Frusciante, from Red Hot Chili Peppers, which I was never, I like the band, but I was never a huge fan. And I read an interview about John Frusciante writing his songs, getting chords from the piano and writing them for guitar, and vice versa, and that opened a bunch of possibilities, and that is very much related to the way guitar strings are laid out, because they are laid out by fourth, which is the same, and some strings without getting there, and so that opens up a new way to find chords. So just a super quick example. Sorry, just getting my guitar, which we didn't use at all. If you play something. These are all chords that wouldn't come right away at the piano, and that is a really cool way to write. All this kind of spread triads, I use them all the time in film scoring, and that is a very big creative tip. All right, it's probably gonna fall, hopefully not. And the last creative tip is that I'm a massive synthesizer nerd. I'm not sure you can see it, but behind me I got loads of little boxes. I got a modular synth, I got a drum machine, I got some Korg Volcas, Moog Matters, and a lot of that stuff, and I use them a lot to come up with ideas. And last but not least, soft synths, something like Concept really helps me. This is not just because it wants to be a plug for Krotos, but it is incredibly inspiring to make your own sound. This entire track literally came from creating this patch. So you know, get a good soft synth and making your own patches with it. It allows you to develop your own creative voice, because at that point you're not using the language of music to make music, but you're using the language of sound. This is gonna sound terribly corny, but you know, I really, since I make a lot of my own sound, I always think of it, and again, some corny alert. I see it a little bit as a painter mixing their own color, and you know, that is exactly the same for me. Before sitting here to do this track, I created a few patches and I used those as a building block of this track, which I didn't prepare at all. And you know, just trying this patch made me came up with this chord progression. And this isn't a great composition by any mean, but we did come up with it in less than 1 hour, and at least it's something, you know, just write something is what I'm getting to at. Then let's keep moving. A few people ask, what controller are you using? I'm using a controller that I won't suggest you to buy because it's breaking a lot. So I'm using a little Naked Boards MC8 controller, which it's cheap and it shows. It broke and is not working. But other than that, I'm using a Studio Logic Acuna 88 for my piano sounds, and I got a little Arturia key step in front of me, which I use to sequence stuff and that kind of stuff. Then is everything else besides kicks you use mono for? 808 maybe? Yes, all sort of basses I typically go mono. I honestly think that stereo is overused. You know, that there is a fantastic mix engineer which I love, which is Ray Aitken, and you know, it's telling me that he's a great score mixer. He scored Horizon Zero Dawn, scored the video game. Lots of projects. Look him up. And we were having a chat, and he told me something that really opened up my mind. I said, you know, when everything is wide, nothing is wide in the stereo field, and it's incredibly true. So yeah, I mean, pads, that kind of stuff obviously needs to be stereo, but I think that you can improve your mix a lot by putting a lot of sources in mono. Then is everything oh sorry, that's I already read it. The energy curator, what do you like to do to make your bass punchier? Thanks. Yeah, we didn't get to mixing at all, but yeah, definitely compression. On bass I use a lot of 1176, which is quite a classic. I use this one by Plugin Alliance, the purple one, which is called M77. Yeah, this is the stereo version, but I also use the mono version. This is my go-to. One important thing to do to get stuff puncher, which I see as that it's a mistake that a lot of new producers do, is that they use the compressor and they use a very fast attack, and that is the one way to kill the punch in your bass. Use a slower attack, I would say. What else? You get to see movies before it's out if you do the music. Yes, I do, but I get to see it without music and with a lot of very weird effects, and it's not finished at all, so not very nice. I think. All right. A couple more questions after this. Okay. It's good to see that even you buy Bergen controllers. Yes, definitely, I do. But yeah, I mean, that is really a lesson in not buying cheap stuff, because this is I think the third that I replace in 5 years. I used to have the Korg microcontrol, and yeah, 2 of those were absolute crap. Linda is typing a few more questions for me, and then we're gonna. Oh wow, Linda just told me that we actually picked 3 winners. That's fantastic. All right, let me just. All right. All right. I got the winners. Drum roll. I don't have a timpani patch loaded in. We do it with the kicks. It's not working. All right, with a lot of delay. Sounds cool. So I'm gonna butcher all your names. So first winner is Elvis Curcini. The second winner is Konstantinos Bardakas. And the third winner is Daniel Smith. All right, and guys, you need to write down in the comments. I think Linda will get in touch with you. I really wanted to show you one last thing that is sort of, you know, when I'm playing something, sometimes I get the ideas and I need to get them done. Otherwise, I forget them. Are you up to stay 5 minutes longer to show you something that I wanted to do with the track, with the drums? Congrats to the winners. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to show you one last thing so that we finish with this. Yeah, what a drum roll. I know that was fun, wasn't it? I wish I had a little orchestral timpani patch or a little snare drum, a snare roll. All right, I got a couple more questions. When I'm trying new sounds, sometimes I get a very digital sound. What do you recommend to soften that or get a much richer sound? Okay, so I've asked this very same question to a lot of mixing engineers over the year, and what I always recommend is to process it through some sort of outboard. But that is yeah, of course, if you have a lot of outboard. So since most of us don't, in fact, I don't use any, I mean, I got a bunch of preamps, that kind of stuff, but I don't have a lot of outboard gear. And what I do is to add a little bit of saturation. One fantastic plugin for this is the Black Box. Let me show you. Use this all the time. Black Box Analog Design AG2. This is a fantastic plugin. I use it on everything. You can use it on the master, you can use it on bass, you can use it on drums. This is a really fantastic way to add some grit to your sound and get a bit of more of an analog sound. There are a couple of more, but this is my go-to. Then from Daniel Smith, congratulations for winning, by the way. Any tips for how to learn arrangement? I'm sure a lot of us struggle with that, thinking to take the project files from here as a template, create some new parts and drop them in. So I mean, I think since I do a lot of orchestral scoring, I think that you need to sort of differentiate a little bit between orchestration and arrangement. And I'm probably not the best person to answer that because I have a very messed up musical education. I taught myself how to read music, then I did a bit of formal training, but I went to Berkeley for the master and was a master degree, and I got in miraculously, but I didn't know any orchestration or almost any orchestration, and so I had to study a lot. And the way I did that was just through reading loads and loads of scores, of orchestral scores. And if you're not interested in producing or writing orchestral music, to me the equivalent to that, which is exactly the way I learn this stuff, is to listening to a lot of stuff and transcribe it. So and transcribe the arrangement. So listen to a piece and work out what the pad is doing, what the bass is doing, what the drums are doing, and just try to replicate what you're listening in your own piece, and that's I would say the best way to learn. Which guitar do you suggest to a new guitar learner? Oh God, I don't know. I got too many guitars. If my wife is watching, she knows that. I think I'll tell you what is the guitar that I use the most. It's possibly not my favorite guitar. My favorite guitar is possibly a Gibson SG Special, which has a very special, part of my heart because of who gave it to me. But I would say that a Stratocaster, something like that, which is over there, a Stratocaster will get you a long way, and you can do a lot of genres with them. I use them in film scoring all the time. All right, I'm gonna do this very last thing that came to my mind. I just cannot leave the stream without doing this. So this is a little trick that I use on this sort of tracks. So you got this drum kit. Okay, I want to do something with the snare. Maybe let's dial the delay down a little bit on the kick drum, because now there's a lot of stuff that is coming. And I bet that you all know the classic 80s sound of the gated snare, the gated reverb on the snare. I love to use a little variation on that, which I made up, but I don't think I invented it. I'm pretty sure that someone else does exactly the same. So what you need to do is to send your snare to a reverb. A great way to do this, it's on a non-linear reverb. We can do it. I used it on the piano, but it doesn't matter. We can do it on 32, so it's faster. Okay. Oh, let's do it on a new one. God's sake. All right. Oh, here I got it. I got it. 33, bass 33. All right, and you're gonna send it to Unity, okay? Okay, this is the reverb that I'm using. All right, you want something, I'm using this 7th Heaven Professional, which is a lovely reverb, but most reverbs have something that you can use. I love the non-linear stuff. If you don't have this, get anything that is a bit weird, a bit dirty. I love the non-linear D, sounds like that. Listen to it on the snare, or the C, it's even better in this context. Okay, and so what you do with the gated reverb, this is the classic 8 snare sound, Phil Collins, Peter Gabriel, that kind of stuff, which obviously is not the right context for it. What you do, you want to add a bit of saturation on it. I love using the Capitator for this, but you can use anything. Even the built-in Logic one is great. Bit of drive. I like keeping it on tape. See what's doing to the reverb. Okay, then you need to add a noise gate. By the way, look up gated reverb sound, and there is the story of how Peter Gabriel, the Peter Gabriel engineer, found out about this effect is quite interesting. It's a good piece of music history. Have a look. So if you go on Dynamics here, there is the noise gate. This is just the stock noise gate plugin that comes with Logic. You want to chain it with the reverb, with the snare, so that it basically opens the gate in the feed directly from the snare rather than from the reverb. So it's a bit more precise. To do the same thing with the snare, I basically created a little phantom aux track for it. So I got it here, 132 snare. All right. So see, it's opening the gate. Keep attack and release to 0 just to work it out. I love hysteresis to -11, something like that, and you work the threshold so that it opens the gate with the beat, however you like it. You see what's doing? It's closing it like that. Okay, you have no time to fine tune it, but you get my point. And then I like adding a tiny bit of attack and a tiny bit of release. Too much. All right. So this is the classic gated snare drum, Phil Collins kind of sound. And that's how it sounds in context. It's a great way for the snare to come out. However, what I do is that then you get these you send from the return track of the reverb to another delay. I told you that I used too many reverbs. Delay 3 in this case, right? And you send it to taste, and here you want something. I'm gonna use again replica, and there is a patch here that I like a lot, which is called Deep Space Tape. There you go. Put the mix to 100, and you need to pick up a rhythm that makes sense with your track. We can do this, for example, straight seconds. Not sure how it sounds. And listen to the snare. See all that movement. You have it in context. I love this. All right. The track can definitely do with a bit of mixing. It's very messy, but it was a lot of fun for me. I hope you enjoyed it. Have I got more questions? Linda's not writing to me anymore, so I think we must close this. Just gonna have a quick look. Sometimes the carburetor might go to plugin for saturation. Mine as well. It's great. Did you master it? Well, not now. I haven't even mixed. What else? Concept seems to be freezing my Ableton. Oh, that's a question for the team at Krotos. Your face is glowing with my snare. My face is glowing with my snare sound. Yeah, I just love this trick, and it came out completely by mistake again. And I think it was a lot of fun. I think we got to close it. It was super long. We started a little late. So I think we got to close it, but it was fantastic. I had a lot of fun. Congrats again to the winner, and I think we'll see you next time. Thank you so much to the Krotos team as well. All right, thanks guys. Speak soon. Bye.